I'm David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Well, the first night in the fucking container was very interesting. I don't know why I thought a shipping container was going to be a fucking good idea, but it turns out... the shipping container is not ideal for comedy. Who would have thought that? Probably everyone, to be honest with you. So I get to the fucking container at the Factory Theatre. There's not just the container by itself. It's part of a whole venue. There's the actual Factory Theatre. Then there's the container, which is a single shipping container. And then there's the Matchbox, which is two shipping containers welded together. This is the main venue of the fucking Sydney Comedy Festival. So I get there, I speak to the comedian who did the show before me, Ev. I'm like, how was it? He's like, it was all right. It was fucking hot in there, though. The air conditioning's not working. I'm like, what? It's the first night of the comedy festival. Why don't they have the air conditioning working in there? But I'm like, fuck it. How hot can it possibly be in there? So anyway, my starting act, Tommy Orr, he jumps on stage. He does his thing. He brings me on, and it's fucking hot. Just immediately, I'm like, this is going to be a long night. Fucking 10 minutes later, I'm dripping with sweat. And I don't know if the crowd are hot as well. So I'm like, are you guys fucking hot? Is it just me? And the crowd gave me one of the old fucking, yeah, it's hot, but whatever. That's how I took it. Yeah, it's hot, but whatever, clown. Hurry up. Get back to it. So I'm like, well, they must be comfortable, but I'm fucking uncomfortable up here. But I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? By about half an hour in, I was like fucking starting to feel it. I was struggling with the energy, but fucking ended up getting through the show, went outside, got some fucking air. Spoke to people in the crowd, and I was like, that was fucked. And I was like, it was just fucking off in there. People said they enjoyed it, but it felt fucking way off. That container, it's a strange place to do comedy. And there's double the crowd tonight. So they better have the fucking aircon sorted, otherwise it's going to be fucked. But I hung around again after the show and hung out with a few of the listeners, the fucking lads, the young lads from Cronulla, the boys. 19-year-old cunts listening to the I'm Quitting Alcohol podcast. I was like, boys, what the fuck are you doing listening to my podcast? Just live your life up until you're like 22, 23, and then start winding it in. You want to be winding it in and have everything under control by the time you're like 24, 25, let's say 25. I'll give you an extra year. 27, you're dead most of the time. So 25's the good age. Also saw Chippy out there. Chippy bought a couple of his mates. My man from the Blue Mountains. I'm not good with names. I forget names. I remember he's from Lawson. Drove all the way up from fucking Lawson to get to the show. So fucking thanks for coming out. That's actually the best part for me, meeting cunts after the show. I can't wait till that gets old. I can't wait until that's not the best part. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a few people now I can fucking stop, have a chat. I ended up sitting down and having a chat to the boys for fucking like an hour and a half after the show. It was good. But I can't wait till there's like fucking 2,000 people out there and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't meet you cunts anymore. There's just too many of you. At the moment, I'm just introducing myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Boyle. They're like, yeah, I know. We actually know every single thing about your entire life, fuckhead. I'm like, true. I forgot about that. But everyone seemed to have enjoyed the show despite the fucking sauna we were in. And not only that, the fucking acoustics in the container. I was expecting just laughs to be bouncing off walls so you could get a little bit of fucking momentum. But it feels like they've put the fucking soundproofing on the inside of the container and it just absorbs the laughter. Or... And this is also a fucking massive possibility. I was off a little bit. I was off my game a little bit. That's also a possibility. But anyway, it's on again tonight and I'm taking a hand towel so I can wipe the fucking sweat off my brow. But if they don't fix that air conditioning, it's truly going to be a fucked up Friday in that container. Anyway, that was a fucking masterful segue because it's time for this week's Fucked Up Friday. So if you have a banger of a story that you want to send in, get read out on this podcast, head to my website, boylecomedy.com. There's a section there where you can fucking punch in your Fucked Up Friday. If you want to support the podcast monetarily, you want to skip the line to get your Fucked Up Friday story pushed ahead, you want to jump on the Patreon. It's $1 a month. You'll access all the shit that's going to be on the Patreon Once these fucking Sydney Comedy Festival shows are over, I'm ramping it up. I'll have time to fucking really start doing some shit. The boys last night actually gave me a few ideas as well. That's why you speak to people. Anyway, the main thing is if you enjoy the podcast, you can show your appreciation by fucking buying me a pint a month. The links to the Patreon are on my website also, boylecomedy.com. Anyway, let's get to this week's Fucked Up Friday. So this week's Fucked Up Friday was sent in by an anonymous man in the US. I'm not sure where, it doesn't say, but let's assume it's one of the fucked places. Okay, so here we go. I'm about 19, 20 years old at this point of my life. Drugs and drinking were my idol, and roughly everyone I went to high school with had a mutual existence. My close friends were fucked on drugs, and people who happened to make it out of that shit town usually got off the dope. Anyways, I'm coming home from work one night, and I get a call from my mum telling me that an old friend of mine was back in town and wanted to link up. Knowing this guy from school, I knew he was a complete spaz. Spoilt rich kid. Spoilt rich kids are the fucking worst. They annoy the fucking shit out of me. I knew this guy. This is my story now. When I got that assaulting a police officer charge, a guy I know, a rich kid, he also got an assaulting a police officer charge at the same time, and I spoke to him, and he actually punched a female cop in the face. He didn't just politely grab the cop by the fucking scruff of the neck and give him a few gentle jumper punches like the boy Al. He smacked a fucking female police officer in the face. Anyway, this rich kid's fucking parents dropped $60K on lawyers and got him off the charge, and now he's a pilot for fucking Qantas. And the boy Al took the court-appointed lawyer who convinced him to plead guilty and is now doing shows in the container. It's all fucking bullshit. Anyway, this guy was a spoilt rich kid who didn't give a fuck about anything, but he was still kind of a blast to chill with. And I thought maybe he'd calm down a little bit. We'll call him Forrest. So I say, fuck it. I'll go and chill with Forrest. We meet at about 11. We head down to our local bar strip and proceed to get completely sloshed. Now, as I said earlier, this guy is batshit crazy with no filter and no brakes. As with myself, I'll keep drinking till I faceplant. Good lad. But anyways, we proceed to get absolutely trashed and leave the bar at about 3 a.m. Now, this is a small town, so cops are everywhere. I really didn't think it was a great idea considering he was completely fucked, but I knew I wasn't driving, so I thought, fuck it, I'm not getting the DUI if we get stopped. He starts heading back to my place, and I kid you not, as soon as we leave the parking lot, this fucker decides to blast off like he's piloting a rocket. At first, I'm like loving it, completely hammered, listening to music loud as fuck. But after about 15 minutes of him treating the town like it's his racetrack, I say, man, you're driving fucking crazy. Please take me home. Please take me home? That is not going to work with a crazy drunk guy. He's like, yeah, man, don't worry, we're going. That just encouraged him to go faster. Of course, yeah, you can't fucking deal with crazy people like that. You can't show fear to crazy people. That just excites them. You just say, listen, fucking stop the car now, let me out. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking kick you out the driver's door. That's the only way to get crazy people's attention. Just fucking threaten them. Half the time you will have to fight them, but that's part of it. So that just encouraged him to go faster. All of a sudden, we're on this 4-lane highway, and he pulls out into the middle of the intersection and slams about 3 donuts right out in the fucking open. At this point, I'm like, dude, you're fucking scaring me. Get me the fuck home. He thinks it's hilarious. Of course he does. But we finally start heading home. We're almost to my house. This is the last turn onto my road. The fucker slams the gas and tries to take a complete right angle left turn and snatches the e-brake. We're probably doing about 55 miles an hour. As soon as he hits the e-brake, we fucking roll the car. The car rolls about 3 times and we slam sideways into some trees. I was so pissed and horrified, but I somehow wasn't hurt. We're upside down and he reaches over and unbuckles my seatbelt, to which I fall on my damn head. That is pretty good. This guy's good value. He's just rolled his car 3 times and he still has the awareness to fuck you over. He's still looking for opportunities. This guy is a treasure. So we managed to crawl out the window and both walk back to my house. I wake my mum up, blood streaming down my face because of glass shards stuck in my forehead. Looked like some horror film shit, and she freaked out. We both go to the hospital. We get there, the cops show up and cuff him to the bed. All I'm thinking to myself is, hell yeah, at least it's not my DUI. Regardless, I'm super pissed and tell my mum, yeah, thanks for guilting me into hanging out with psychos. Anyways, I get patched up, go home, never talk to the cunt again, and I get 10K in the mail from suing his insurance. Well, that is a good ending to the story. 10G? You ended up with a good story and 10G in your pocket. That is a fucking good Friday. Survived a car crash, don't have to hang out with the psycho, got a good story and 10G in your back pocket. You should be happy. Anyway, thanks for sending in the story. You can also sign up to the Patreon with some of that fucking 10G. That'll do for tonight. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see ya the fuck later.